Don't let mediocre meals ruin your cruise. Discover the secrets to transform your dining experience. We're about to dive into often overlooked secrets that can elevate your cruise dining experience from mundane to magnificent. We'll explore insider tips, hidden strategies to enhance your meals on board, ensuring that every dish is as delightful as your surroundings. So whether you're a seasoned cruiser or planning your first voyage, these dining hacks are essential to making the most out of every meal at sea. Don't miss out on our last tip for an exclusive dining secret that could transform how you savor your meals on board, making every bite a memorable experience. First up, arguably the most obvious, know your dining options. Pre-cruise, do some research, figure out which dining options they have on the ship, which ones are included, which ones are extra, where they are on the ship. We were on the Wonder of the Seas, and it wasn't until on the very last day of the cruise we found the taco bar, El Loco Fresh, I believe it was called, because it was in an area of the ship we just didn't go to. So do a little research ahead of time. Figure out what all the different options are, and then once you get on board, now I've talked about this in some of my other videos. When my wife and I get on board, step 1, get the muster drill over and done with. Step 2, get a drink. Step 3, explore the entire ship, top to bottom, front to back. Why? So that you know where things are. You're not necessarily going to have the entire ship's layout memorized after one venture, but you're going to be able to say, you know what, the main dining room, I remember it was either deck 3 or 4, and it was right above or right below the main show hall. What's that called? Can't think of it. You know what, the pizza place, I remember that was up on the pool deck, the back of the ship near the putt-putt golf. So it'll be in there. It'll come back to you throughout the week. And hey, Ilya, you want to eat too? Make sure you check out, you look for those hidden gems. A lot of ships have cafes in the spa. A lot of ships do have the pizzerias, and they're not always where you expect them to be. They might be hidden. So do a little research before you get on board. If you're going to do specialty dining in particular, make your reservations in advance, if at all possible. A lot of cruise lines these days, they'll open up reservations, a certain amount of reservations for each specialty dining restaurant, 15, 20, 30, 45 days in advance. Figure that out. Call your travel agent, ask them, Google it, so that you know, and that way if you're going to do the steakhouse that's available on day 4, 45 days prior, make sure you're online in the morning 45 days prior to try and get yourself a spot, because the really popular specialty restaurants, they book up. And if you really, really want to go, check out Park Central or Giovanni's or the Captain's Table, you got to jump on it. Okay. Avoid peak dining hours for faster service when you can. Now, obviously, dinner time, there's not a whole lot of options, except most people don't want to eat at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. If you're okay with that and there isn't a show that evening that you can't miss, maybe check that out. You might be able to get into a specialty restaurant at 8:30 or 9 o'clock after the peak hours are over, and it'll be a little quieter, it'll be a little bit more intimate, and you won't have to deal with all the other people. Customize your orders. So one thing that my wife and I, actually mainly I, do whenever we get on the ship, and it's the first night of the main dining room. As I said, my wife and I love the main dining room. We eat in the main dining room arguably 6 nights out of 7 when we're on a cruise. We just enjoy that experience. First night that we're there, I do a couple things. One, find out where all of our staff is from, just because I like to know. And then I ask them, how much are we allowed to have? Cruise lines are a little bit different about this. Royal, it seems to be, you're allowed to order 2 of each thing, except for, from what I'm being told, lobsters. So you can get 2 appetizers, you can get 2 entrees, you can get 2 desserts. I don't always do that. I arguably don't want to eat that much every single night, but sometimes I do. It depends on what's on the menu, what I want to try. So know that ahead of time. If there are things that you really want, whether it be, a particular type of cuisine because of restrictions, whether it be, like gluten-free or vegan or vegetarian or paleo or whatever, make sure the cruise line knows that. Multiple times you have to tell them. When you book the cruise, tell them then. When you get on the ship, I know a lot of people, and I highly recommend this, they go to them, if you're eating in the main dining room, You get on the ship, and as you're walking around touring the ship, go stop at the main dining room, find the maitre d' and say, hey, we have a reservation for 6 o'clock dinner. We're at table 243. I want to make sure that it's documented that I am gluten-free, or that I have a nut allergy, or whatever it is. Then when you get to the main dining room, at the very least the first 2 nights, make sure that every member of your wait staff is told that same thing. And I say, at the very least the first 2 nights, because, by the end of that second meal, you'll have some idea whether they're paying attention and they've remembered. If they're remembering it, don't keep pestering them about it. Just, keep an eye, mention it every now and then, but, they're getting really good about that. Breakfast buffets. I love omelets. I love made-to-order omelets. So depending upon what you like to do for breakfast, if you're a carafe of coffee and a couple of croissants on your balcony, cool. If you're going to go to the breakfast buffet in the Windjammer, or, in the buffet, I always go to the omelet station. Now, I don't always get omelets. Sometimes I'll get over easy. Sometimes I'll get a breakfast sandwich. Sometimes I'll ask them if they can make me fresh Eggs Benedict, because I love Eggs Benedict, and sometimes the Eggs Benedict that's sitting on the line looks like it's been on the line for a couple of days. So take advantage of that. Room service, I mentioned that a moment ago. Take advantage of room service if you want to. Now, fewer and fewer ships these days have complimentary room service. Some still do, depends on, the cruise line and where you're going and stuff, but it might be worth it to you. Like a lot of port days, my wife and I will do room service. We will have a carafe of coffee and some croissants and maybe some fruit delivered to the room, 6:30 in the morning, something like that, so that we can get up early, get ready, and sit out on our balcony and enjoy the view as we come into port and have something to eat. Because as most of you know, I've been on cruises before, the minute that ship is docked, first call for your excursions is immediately. This gives you, that way you don't have to go and try and wade through the lines at the buffet or wherever to get something to eat before your excursions. Another tip for room service, try ordering off-peak hours for faster service. So if you decide you want to have lunch in your room at 12 o'clock on a sea day, you're going to be waiting a little while. Order at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Try and mix it up a little bit so that you're not eating when the rest of the ship is eating. Now, just when you think we've covered it all, stay tuned for a tip that reveals hidden menu selections many cruisers miss. Check out the poolside eating, casual dining. A lot of ships these days have got snack shacks, burger joints, grills based around the pool. The bistro, Guy's Burger Joint, on and on and on. Quick, casual food. When you're sitting there enjoying the pool, or you're about to head into the solarium, if you don't want to be around kids, grab a burger, grab, some of the fresh fruit, or some tacos. Quick and easy eating, usually not 5-star or Michelin star quality, but good quality food, quick and easy, in and out. We do that a lot. Actually, arguably when we're on Carnival, I'm pretty much at Guy's Burger Joint almost every day that we're on the ship around lunchtime. Seek out some open air dining spots for a bit of a breeze during dinner. Like if we've done this a couple of times, we will skip the main dining room and we will get Guy's Burger, and my wife will get something from the taco place, and we'll grab a table and we'll sit and we'll have dinner with a couple of drinks, watching the ocean, watching the sunset, and just relaxing. It's a different type of meal. It's a little bit more casual, a little bit more relaxed. You're not fighting for space at the buffet, but you're also not doing the 1.5 to 2 hour long main dining room either. So yeah, we like to change it up. Theme nights. Theme nights are very popular on most ships. Not just, white parties and red parties, but themes for the entire ship, including the menus at the dining rooms. We like to indulge in these, so if it's, Caribbean night or whatever the theme is that night, we'll usually tailor our menu choices to that theme, just to feel part of it, to have a little fun, a little bit of change. Dress it up to make it extra special. Pretty much every ship has at least one formal night, and formal these days means different things to different people. My wife and I do like to get dressed up. Now, I don't own a tux, so we don't get that dressed up, but I do wear sport coat and button-down shirt, good pair of slacks, or a suit, and my wife will wear a dress, and we'll get dressed up a little bit. And we enjoy that because we don't do it at home. It's a change of pace for us. Now, one of our favorites, late night snacks. we love, well, especially me, we love having a bite to eat after a night of partying, whether it be, watching a show, gambling a little bit, dancing, listening to live music, whatever. We pretty much always hit up the pizza joint. Whether it's wherever that pizza joint is, we always make sure to stop in and have a couple slices. Some of them these days also have little, 1 bite, 2 bite sandwiches and or some desserts. If you're on a Virgin ship, their ice cream bar is phenomenal. So make sure you know where those things are, or you can just follow the crowd of obviously hungry people. You're not going to believe what's coming next. This secret could change the way you dine on a cruise forever. This is one of my favorite things to do, even though I don't like wine. I love wine pairing dinners. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but sitting down for a meal, a chef's specialty prepared meal where they pair the wines with what we're eating, I just love it. I have an absolute blast. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, it costs extra. To me and my wife, we try to do one of these per cruise when they're available, just because it's such an experience. And I don't know, to me, it's fun. Every now and then, we will do a multi-course specialty dining meal, like a chef's table, I know some cruises have holiday dinners that are 3-course, 5-course, 9 or 7-course, It's an experience. It's not something you do all the time. If you enjoy slow and easy dinners with great conversation and relaxing, you might want to check it out. We love doing a chef's table when we can as well, even though, yes, it is extra money and yes, it's fairly expensive, but being able to interact with the chef and ask questions and experience his why, how did this dish come about? Where did it come from? What made him think of it? Why would he do this? And it's an experience more than just a meal. So to us, it's worth it. Occasionally. Now that you're a cruise dining expert, don't be that guy or gal who looks like an idiot by violating cruise etiquette. Because when you do, bad things can happen. So let's dive right into the do's and don'ts of cruise etiquette.